Did y'all know the Blessed Virgin Mary don't just pick folks on a whim? Nope. There's a purpose behind why you're watching this video right now. It ain't no coincidence, ain't no luck, and it sure as sugar ain't just some algorithm pushing it your way. Padre Pio of Pietrelcina, one of the most powerful saints of the last century, a man who carried the wounds of Christ on his body for over 50 years, warned his spiritual children about something most folks don't talk about openly. He said when the Virgin Mary sets her eyes on a soul, when she decides to take someone under her protective mantle, she sends unmistakable signs, three clear, concrete, undeniable signals that most folks go through every day without ever realizing what they truly mean. And today, right here, right now, I'm going to share each one of those 3 signs with y'all. Because if even one of them rings true with what you've been going through lately, then you need to understand something sacred is already moving in your life. But listen close now, because the 3rd sign, the one I'll tell you all about at the end of this video, is the most powerful and the most misunderstood. Padre Pio himself said it's what separates those who are just called from those who are truly chosen. So stick with me till the very end, because that 3rd sign might just change the way you see everything that's been happening to you. Before we dive in, I want you all to do something with me right now. Head down to the comments and type exactly these words. Mother Mary, I recognize your signs, and I say yes. Do it right now. Don't wait. Don't put it off till later. The moment you type those words, you're making a declaration to the spiritual world. You're telling heaven you're awake, you're paying attention, and you're ready to receive what's already been prepared for you. And while you're down there, if this channel's ever brought even a little light into your life, if one video has ever given you peace, or clarity, or hope, I'm asking y'all from the bottom of my heart to subscribe. Tap that bell so you never miss a message that might come at just the right moment, and leave your like as an act of faith. Each like, each subscription, each notification you turn on ain't just numbers on a screen. It's a door you're opening in your own spiritual life. It's you telling the universe, I'm ready for more. I want to grow, I want to receive. Now here's something most folks don't understand about how the Virgin Mary works in our lives. In every major apparition, Fatima, Lourdes, Guadalupe, Mary didn't show up to kings, priests, scholars, or the powerful. She came to the simple, the suffering, the overlooked, those the world had forgotten. And Padre Pio knew this better than anyone, because he himself was just a simple friar from a tiny village in southern Italy, a man who spent his whole life in prayer, sacrifice, and quiet obedience. Yet through him, Mary worked miracles that shook the whole world. Padre Pio once said the Blessed Mother watches over her children with a tenderness no human heart can fully understand. She sends signs, not to the proud or distracted, but to the humble, to those whose hearts are soft enough to notice. That's the spiritual bedrock of what I'm about to share today. These 3 signs ain't dramatic. They ain't Hollywood miracles. They're quiet, intimate, and personal. And that's exactly what makes them so powerful. So let's start with the 1st sign. Pay close attention now, because I've seen this one change the lives of folks who'd almost given up on everything. The 1st sign that the Virgin Mary's already chosen you is this. You've been feeling a deep, unexplainable pull toward the sacred. It might not make much sense to your mind. Maybe you weren't ever real religious. Maybe you grew up in a home where faith wasn't talked about much, or maybe you walked away from your spirituality years ago. But lately something's shifted. You find yourself drawn to prayer, to quiet, to those still moments. Maybe you're driving down the road and all of a sudden you just gotta talk to God. Maybe you wake up in the middle of the night, 2 or 3 in the morning, with a feeling in your chest that's hard to put into words, a mix of longing, peace, and something like homesickness, even though you don't know what home you're missing. Maybe you find yourself crying for no good reason during a prayer or when you hear sacred music. Maybe you feel a strange warmth in your heart when you hear Mary's name, or see her image, or hear about a saint you never thought about before. That pull, that magnetic draw to the sacred, it ain't random, it ain't hormones, it ain't stress. It's the 1st sign Mary's drawing you close. She's calling your name in the quiet of your heart. Now here's what happens when folks ignore this sign, and this is real important, because so many feel this pull and then talk themselves out of it. They say it's just feelings. They say they're being silly. They say ain't no time for spiritual stuff right now. And what happens? That pull don't go away. It turns into anxiety, restlessness, feeling lost even when everything looks fine on the outside. I've seen this over and over. Folks feel the sacred pull push it down and try to fill that emptiness with things that never satisfy. Endless scrolling on their phones, compulsive buy-in, drain-in relationships, habits they can't shake. That void just gets bigger because it was never meant to be filled with earthly things. It was made to be filled with the presence of the mother calling you home. Let me tell you all about a woman named Beatrice. She's 61, a retired schoolteacher from a small coastal town. Beatrice lived her whole grown-up life as what she called a practical person. She believed in being kind, working hard, taking care of her family, but she had no real spiritual life. She hadn't prayed in over 30 years. Then one winter, something strange started happening. Every morning when she woke up, before she even opened her eyes, she'd feel this overwhelming sense of being held. Not physically, but like energy, like invisible arms wrapped around her. She'd hear a whisper in her heart, not with words but with feeling, telling her she was loved, she was safe, she wasn't alone. At first she brushed it off, but it kept happening. Every single morning for 40 days straight. On day 41, she walked into a small chapel near her home she'd passed 1,000 times, but never stepped inside. She sat down in front of a statue of the Virgin Mary and cried for 2 hours straight. Later, she told me right then she knew Mary had been calling her for years, maybe decades, and she'd finally said yes. Within 3 months, Beatrice's whole life changed. Her estranged relationship with her daughter healed. Her 15 years of chronic insomnia vanished. She found a faith community that gave her a sense of belonging she'd never known before. That's the power of recognizing the first sign and answering it. So if you've been feeling that pull, if something inside you's been stirring, know this: it's real, it's sacred, and it's meant for you. Don't push it away. Lean into it. And here's something that can help you go deeper. See, Padre Pio understood this pull better than almost anyone in recent history. He spent his whole life answering exactly this kind of call, and he built up a daily habit of prayer and spiritual protection that kept him close to the Virgin Mary every single moment of every single day. Everything he learned, every prayer he prayed, every sacramental he used to guard himself and those he loved, it's all gathered in a work called The 21 Days with Padre Pio, the Saint's Secret Method to Win Spiritual Battles and Achieve Miracles. Now, this ain't just a book. It's a daily guide, a 21-day journey that walks you through the exact prayers, the exact practices, the exact spiritual tools Padre Pio used his whole life to stay safe under the Virgin's mantle and feel her protection in real, tangible ways. If you're feeling that pull right now, if something deep down inside is telling you you're ready for a deeper path, then this here guide was made just for this moment in your life. You'll find the link pinned right below this video. But for now, let's keep on going, because the second sign is something you really need to hear. The second sign that the Virgin Mary's already chosen you is this. You've been going through a time of deep purifying, and it's felt like everything's falling apart. Now listen close, because this one's the sign that tends to confuse folks the most. It's the one that makes people think God done abandoned them when the exact opposite is true. You notice how in the last few weeks or months, life's been tougher than a $2 steak. Maybe you lost something mighty important. A relationship, a job, your feeling of security, or even your health. Maybe folks you trusted turned their backs on you for no clear reason. Maybe money got tight out of nowhere, or old hurts you thought were healed came back with a pain that took your breath away. Maybe you felt all alone, like the whole world pulled away and left you standing in a desert of silence. I know how painful that is. I know how scary it feels when the ground under your feet seems to crumble. But here's what Padre Pio knew, and what I need you to hold on to with every fiber of your soul. Purification always comes before elevation. The Virgin don't take things from you to punish you. She's clearing out what no longer serves your highest good so something far better can grow. Think of a gardener pruning a rose bush. To someone who don't know much about gardening, it looks like destruction. The gardener's cutting away branches, leaving the bush almost bare. But the gardener knows each cut makes room for new growth, stronger branches, and more glorious blooms. That's exactly what's going on in your life right now. The Virgin's pruning. She's clearing out the dead wood, the toxic folks, the false securities, the patterns that kept you small, stuck, and safe in a cage you learned to call home. Now here's the danger in not understanding this sign. When folks go through this purifying without seeing it as a sign of divine choosing, they panic. They cling to the very things being taken away. They beg for them toxic relationships to come back. They hang on tight to that job that's draining their soul. They fight the change with every ounce of strength, and in doing so, they only drag out their own pain. The purifying is going to happen no matter what, because the Virgin's already made up her mind. But whether you walk through it with grace and trust or with fear and fighting, that's your choice. There was a man named Samuel, 44 years old, who ran a small construction company. In 6 months, Samuel lost his biggest client. His business partner betrayed him and took half the equipment. His wife told him she wanted a separation, and his mama was diagnosed with a serious illness. Samuel told me one evening, standing in his empty warehouse, surrounded by dust and silence, he felt like the most forsaken man on earth. He looked up at the ceiling and whispered, "If you're there, if you're real, show me, 'cause I can't do this alone no more." That night, Samuel had a dream. In it, a woman dressed in blue and white stood before him. She didn't speak, but she laid her hand on his heart, and he felt a warmth spread all through his body, a warmth so tender and strong that when he woke up, his pillow was soaked with tears. From that moment, things started shifting. Not overnight, not like magic, but steady and clear. Within 8 months, Samuel rebuilt his business, stronger and more honest than before. His mama responded to her treatment, and his wife, seeing the change in him, came back. Not because he begged, but because he had become a different man, a man who'd been pruned and allowed himself to bloom. And I want you to remember something about the third sign, the one we ain't got to yet, the most powerful of all. Samuel saw that third sign too, and it was the moment that sealed his transformation forever. We're getting closer to it, but not just yet. Not yet. If you're in the middle of this purifying right now, if your life feels like it's fallen apart piece by piece, take a deep breath and know this. You're not being torn down. You're being prepared. And here's something beautiful that ties it all together. Many folks who've walked through this kind of purifying and come out stronger on the other side have told me what made the difference, the thing that gave them strength to keep going and faith to keep trusting, was having a daily spiritual practice that grounded them, that reminded them every morning they were held, protected, and that there was a purpose behind the pain. And that's exactly what folks find in the 21 Days with Padre Pio. Let me tell you about a woman named Carolina, 57 years old, who was going through the darkest time of her life when she found this guide. Her son had fallen into addiction, her marriage was falling apart, and she hadn't slept a full night in over 4 months. She told me she started that 21-day journey not because she believed it'd work, but because she had nothing left to lose. By day 9, something shifted inside her, not outside, not yet, but inside. She said she felt a peace that made no logical sense given her troubles. She said it was like Padre Pio himself was walking beside her, showing her where to put her feet, one step at a time. By the end of those 21 days, her son agreed to enter treatment for the first time in 3 years. She said it wasn't no coincidence, she said it was an answer. If you're in a spot where you need that kind of daily anchor, that sacred companionship through a hard season, the link's in the pinned comment below. It's waiting for you. But now, let's move on to the third sign, the one I've been holding back, the one Padre Pio called the most sacred of all. But before I share it, I need you to understand why this third sign's different from the other two. The first sign, that pull toward the sacred, is about your heart opening up. The second sign, the purifying, is about your life getting cleared out. But the third sign, it's about your mission being set in motion. It's the sign that tells you not only that the Virgin's chosen you, but that she's chosen you for something specific, something only you can do in this world. Now, when I tell you all what this is, I want you to dig deep into your memory. Think on your recent days and see if this has been happening to you without you even realizing what it meant. The third sign that the Virgin Mary has already chosen you is this. Folks are coming to you with their hurt. Now sit with that a moment. In the past few weeks or months, have you noticed people around you, sometimes folks you barely know, starting to open up to you in ways that feel a little unusual? Maybe a co-worker you hardly ever talked to just sat down beside you at lunch and poured out their troubles about a marriage struggling. Maybe a neighbor stopped you on the street and without you even asking started sharing the grief they carry over losing someone dear. Maybe your own kin, your children, your siblings, or your friends have been calling more often, not needing advice but just to talk, to be heard, to feel your presence. Maybe someone looked you in the eye with tears and said, "I don't rightly know why I'm telling you all this, but there's just something about you." That, my dear friend, is the third sign. And it's the most powerful one, because it shows something mighty special about the purpose the Virgin has for your life. She ain't just watching over you. She ain't just making you pure. She's preparing you to be a vessel of her compassion in this world. She's training you to carry the light folks desperately need but can't seem to find on their own. Take Padre Pio, for example. He experienced this on a level nearly impossible to grasp. People traveled from every corner of the globe just to sit with him in his confessional, to be near him, to soak in his presence. And it weren't 'cause he was some fancy theologian or a smooth talker. No, sir. It was 'cause the Virgin Mary had filled him with a compassion so deep, so real, folks could feel it radiating off him, like the warmth from a hearth fire. They came to him 'cause their souls recognized something in him their minds couldn't quite name. And that very same thing on your own scale and in your own life is starting to happen to you. Now here's where folks often get it wrong with this third sign. When people start coming to you with their pain, it can feel downright overwhelming. It can drain you dry, like you're carrying everybody's burdens that ain't rightly yours to carry, and some folks feeling that weight shut down. They pull back, build walls, stop answering the phone, grow cold or distant because they don't know how to hold other folks' pain without losing their own selves. But the answer ain't to close yourself off. The answer is to learn how to channel that compassion through a power bigger than yourself. You ain't meant to carry all that weight alone. You're meant to be a channel, a vessel, a bridge between the suffering of this world and the endless mercy of heaven. And that takes spiritual tools, daily practices, prayers for protection and renewal that keep your own light burning strong even as you share it with others. Let me tell you about a man named Francisco. He's 68, a retired bus driver living alone after his wife passed on. Francisco's always been the kind of man folks feel comfortable talking to. Even when he was driving the bus, passengers would sit near him and spill their stories, worries, hopes. After he retired, neighbors started dropping by almost every day, bringing their troubles, fears, their big questions about life, death, and meaning. At first, Francisco felt honored. Then he got worn out. Then he felt bitter. He told me he started pretending he wasn't home when he heard a knock at the door, and his health began to fail. He felt low, purposeless, drained. One day his granddaughter handed him something to read, a passage about Padre Pio, and how that saint handled the heavy load of hearing thousands of confessions, absorbing the pain of countless souls. Padre Pio said he never carried the weight himself. He laid it at the feet of the Virgin Mary every night. He had a daily rhythm of prayer, surrender, and protection that let him give endlessly without emptying himself. Francisco started following that same rhythm, praying every morning before he opened his door, offering his day to the Virgin before meeting anyone, and something amazing happened. He stopped feeling drained. He started feeling energized by the very visits that used to wear him out. He said it was like a filter got placed over his heart, a spiritual shield letting compassion flow through without holding on to the darkness inside. Within a few months, Francisco wasn't just open to visitors again. He became the heart of his whole neighborhood. Folks called him the neighborhood granddaddy, and he told me, tears rolling down his cheeks, that he finally understood why his wife had passed, why he'd been left alone, why people were always drawn to him. It wasn't random. It was his mission. The Virgin had chosen him, and Padre Pio showed him how to walk that path without breaking. That's the truth about the third sign. If people are coming to you, it's because the light inside you is already shining bright to their souls, even if your own eyes can't see it yet. You're being called to something beautiful, something sacred, something that'll give your life a meaning so deep that every hard trial you've been through will finally make sense. But you need the tools. You need the daily practice. You need the protection. And all that's been gathered in one place. 21 Days with Padre Pio ain't just a book about a saint. It's a practical day-by-day guide to building a spiritual life that lets you shine without burning out, to give without running dry, to protect your home, your family, and your own heart while you walk the mission the Virgin's laid before you. Now I want you to think about someone in your family right now. Maybe your mama, your daddy, your son, your daughter, your spouse, your brother or sister. Think about the one going through the toughest time, the one who can't sleep at night, who's carrying a weight they never talk about, whose eyes look worn even when they smile. Imagine handing them this guide. Imagine them waking up every morning for 21 days with a prayer on their lips and Padre Pio's spirit walking with them in their heart. Imagine what that could do for them, for your family, for your whole home. The link's right there, pinned in the comments below this video. It's waiting on you. And from the deepest place in my heart, I truly believe it'll be a blessing, not just for you, but for everyone under your roof. Now, before I let you go, let me share a powerful little practice you can start tonight. Something that'll amplify all three signs and open your heart even wider to the Virgin Mary's protection. You can do this with things you already have at home, and it won't take more than 10 minutes. Tonight, before you lay your head down, find a quiet spot in your home. Could be your bedroom, your living room, anywhere you feel safe and peaceful. Set a glass of clean water on a small table or surface. Next to it, put a white candle. White stands for purity, protection, and the Virgin's mantle. If you've got a small image or statue of the Virgin Mary, set it near the candle. If not, that's all right. The intention's what counts. Light that candle and sit quietly for a spell. Close your eyes and take 3 deep, slow breaths. With each breath, picture a soft blue light coming in through the top of your head and filling your whole body. Now this here blue light, that's the energy of the Virgin's mantle, her protective cloak she wraps round those she's picked. As you breathe in that blue light, quietly say in your heart, Mother Mary, I'm here. I see your signs. I'm answering your call. Wrap me and my kin in your mantle of protection. Sit in that stillness for at least 5 minutes. Don't rush it now. Don't reach for your phone. Just be here, right now. When you feel ready, open your eyes, sip your water slow-like, and as you do, know this water's been blessed by your prayer and intention, nourishing your spirit. Let that candle burn a little longer, then gently snuff it out. Do this for 7 nights straight. Come the 3rd or 4th night, you'll start feeling shifts. Your sleep will get deeper, your dreams more vivid and peaceful. That worry you carry through the day will start easing up. Folks round you'll begin treating you different. Warmer, more open, more trusting. This little practice, it's simple but mighty deep. It's your way of saying yes to the call you've been given. Now, before you go on, I gotta warn you about 3 pitfalls that can mess up all this good work. These mistakes are real common, and I've seen them trip up the most sincere folks. Number 1, rushing through it without truly being present. If you light that candle while scrolling on your phone or say the words like a robot with your mind off somewhere else, well, you lose the power of the moment. The energy you bring to a holy moment is the energy you get back. So be all there or wait till you can be. Number 2, sharing your experience with folks who don't understand or respect your spiritual path. Not everyone's ready to hear what you're feeling. Some, even with good hearts, might mock you, dismiss you, or try to talk you out of your truth. Guard this experience like you would a newborn baby. Keep it close, keep it warm, keep it safe till it's strong enough to face the world. Number 3, expecting big, flashy results and giving up when they don't show up right away. The Virgin don't work on your schedule. She works on heaven's time. Your job ain't to call the shots on how or when the change comes. Your job's to show up every night, heart sincere, soul trusting. The results will come. They always do. But maybe not in the way you thought or hoped for. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for sticking with me through this whole message. The fact you're here still watching means something stirred inside you. It means that pull you feel is real. It means this path you're on has meaning. It means those folks coming to you with their pain ain't a burden. They're a calling. Before you head out, I want you to go down to the comments and write this out. Mother Mary chose me and I accept my mission. Write it like a seal, a vow, a spiritual signature for this moment in your life. And if this video touched your heart, share it with just one person you love, just one. The one that comes to mind right now, that's who needs to hear this. Send it their way. It just might change their life the way I hope it's starting to change yours. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, may the Virgin Mary's mantle cover your home, your family, your health, your wallet, and every dream you hold close. You are chosen, you are loved, and the best is still waiting just round the bend.